All right, here we are ready with Anthony Koutoufides and John Rombotis. And actually, you guys are both part of the Greek team of the century. I know there was Spiro Korkamilis was in the forward pocket. Kouta was in the centre on the ball. And where were you, mate?
I was on the bench.
As selected.
Just made the
Well
squad,
done,
didn't I,
mate.
Kouta?
Well done.
Yeah,
There wasn't too many to pick from, but you did well.
And,
It's an honour though, isn't it?
It
Really?
is a big honour.
It really
And
is.
who was our coach?
Ron
Richards.
Okay, yeah, was
And
it?
Lee Richards was captain.
Okay, there you
a
go.
little bit of
So he
Greek
knows
and live
more
with the
than me.
lip. No one would know that. And Koutoufides Alinica? No, you don't respect
No,
that.
not
do you?
really, no.
Okay, first
No,
question.
yeah.
So, Kouta, if you were mentoring a salesperson at the Buxton Bentleigh office that was enduring a performance and confidence slump, just based on your career, what advice might you give them?
We all go through that. I mean, there's times in my career that I did, and what I did is just up the work rate, work that little bit harder, and I always feel like it's that change of energy. And so what I'll do is maybe get up that little bit earlier, go for a walk, go for a swim, do an extra gym session, just something to just get out of that slump where the body just feels a little bit different, and it's so much mental. And so that when I did those little things, or turn up the training that little bit earlier, or left that little bit later, things start to just evolve and then come back into place. And what you do find afterwards is that you tend to go that little bit better.
That's sensational for our Bentleigh team. They'll love that. Every word of it, spot on. Can relate to that.
From a loyalty aspect, on your 278 game career, I spent a long period of time in the Carlton Football Club. For our workers at Buxton and our staff, what made you stay at the club in terms of the Carlton Football Club for your loyalty?
I wasn't a Carlton supporter, I was a Collingwood supporter, but at 14 I got the letter from the Carlton Football Club. I lived in the Carlton zone, so I went down and played 2 years under 15. So I pretty much was a local boy that went through the under 19s into the reserves, then into the senior team, and I just loved the club. I walked into an environment that was full of success and decades of success. There was premiership players, there was leadership, and it was one of the great presidents of all time. And so I learned so much within that club. I felt obligated to stay there the entire journey, and I feel privileged that I was there for my entire career.
What was your sort of favourite memory looking back? What do you miss the most?
I mean, your teammates and the fun and laughter you have. I mean, we're together as a team. We get on the field, we go to war, we come off there. We win, we feel it together. We play good, we feel it together. If we lose, we're in it together too. But the laughs, the footy trips, which we won't go into because what happens on footy trip stays, as it's like. But just all those sort of things. But I'll never ever forget the premiership. I think together as a team, when you play and understand each other's roles and you go and win that ultimate prize, which is the premiership, that there will be with me and will stay with me forever. It's the greatest day of my life, and it would be pretty hard to sort of, beat that and find another pinnacle than winning the premiership. Because when I was a young kid, I thought grand finals were almost surreal, but to go on, MCG in front of 90,000 people and to win it on that day was just the most incredible feeling as a 22-year-old.
Just on that note too, the confidence, because the year you had, obviously being the best player in the competition, and as Craig being an Essendon supporter, Kevin Sheedy says to today it cost them the 17th premiership because of you, Anthony Koutoufides. How did you become that dominant and confident in your ability of being the best player in the competition?
We talk about slumps. I went through one in 98 when I lost my father. It was the most difficult time of my life. He was like, just a guide or a friend, a best friend or whatever. I mean, mentor. He was there as a loyal supporter too at the same time. And so when he left me, I found it difficult to adjust to just playing football. And I got to a period where I was just playing the worst football of my life. And then I had to make a decision to say, okay, I'm going to, work on it again and start training harder. And I promised my father, who was up above, I said, I'm going to do it for you. And so because I promised him, I went out there and trained harder than I ever did. And what evolved from there was by the end of 98 season, my form started to become a lot more consistent and started to just find a new Kouta in me. And then 99 came along, and I was playing at centre half back and pretty much, I had a pretty good year. Like I finished second in the best and fairest, missing 5 games that year. So I could have won it. Then year 2000, I won the most valuable player award when I moved from centre half back into the midfield and then took my game to another level. So we talk about, low points in life or difficult situations if you keep working at it. And you sometimes can't see the light, but what happens after that could be some of the best times of your life.
Yeah, that's spot on.
So Willow, you're a Bombers supporter, yeah? Have we spoken about the 1999 prelim final enough? I know you touched on it, John, but have we spoken about it enough or not?
Yeah, pretty much, mate.
Oh, yeah.
We are Navy Blues. We are the